Hi, I'm CodeMonkey. This is an introduction showing the progress on my modern Borders Railway project for Dovetail Games Train Simulator. The route will eventually be available on the Steam Workshop, but at the moment, as you can see, it's far from finished. In this video I'll be covering the current progress and the future plans. We're going to take the Flying Banana from the Armstrong Powerhouse HST Enhancement Pack on a trip around the former South Suburban in a circle between Haymarket Platform 0, which we're pulling into now, and Edinburgh Waverley. Haymarket Station only has the basics so far. It still needs detailing, lighting and catenary, and I'd like to include part of the tram line that runs alongside here. Pulling out of Platform 0, you can see the lack of, well, anything really on the right hand side, apart from Murrayfield Stadium and Corstorphine Hill. The project covers the route from Haymarket Depot and Slateford in the west, to Musselburgh and the new Miller Hill EMU depot in the east, and once I get round to it, it will run to Tweedbank along the Borders Railway that was reopened in 2015. This should allow for some variety of passenger and freight traffic on the route, and allow linking up with DP Simulation's Edinburgh to Glasgow extension that adds a track work down to Carstairs, which is also available in the workshop. Now, as far as distant scenery goes, I don't want to include all of the Edinburgh skyline, which will take forever to build and longer to load, but I want to go a little further than the original Edinburgh to Glasgow route did, with the optimised driver's eye view. The bridge with catenary above is the Carstairs to Haymarket route, and the bridge immediately after is the old alignment of that line that ran into Princes Street station on the Caledonian Railway. Up on our right is Slateford Depot, which will be part of this project. The large arch bridge ahead carries the Union Canal, after which we see the remains of Craig Lockhart station and continue our 1 in 70 climb to Morningside. On the left, these houses replace what was once a set of sidings and a goods yard. Morningside Station, and I was supposed to have added a pair of staircases from the road bridge down to platform level. Not to self-do that later. Phase 1 of the project involves finishing off the suburban loop, when I plan to make it available for testing either on the UK Train Sim forums or the workshop or wherever. This will prove that the signalling is faulty, the performance is terrible, and half the assets are missing on someone else's installation of Train Sim. Or, in a stroke of luck, it might actually work. Meanwhile, I'll continue construction on the actual Borders Railway and we'll call that Phase 2. Now, for the next mile or so, we only have a bridge and a permanent speed restriction for company, so we'll speed things along as we descend towards Newington. The suburban circle is quite interesting to drive, with a steep climb on the west side and a varied descent on the east. With 2-aspect and distant colour light signalling, it keeps you on your toes even if the traffic is as sparse as the scenery just now. Once the route is done, as much as it can be, given the limits of what can be built in Train Sim without using tons of DLC, then I plan to clone it and set about restoring the original Waverley route and stations, set in the period around 1960 or so, before many of the lines around Edinburgh were closed. In theory, that will only involve deleting catenary, doubling the track, upgrading, backgrading the signalling, deleting some new buildings, swapping some bridges, signs, adding some old lines and yards, and, well, let's face it, it's still going to take bloody ages. But that's a long way off, and there's things in the modern day we have to fix and finish before we can worry about old lines, such as the Innocent Railway that would have joined about here at a junction near Duddingston. Now that AWS shouldn't sound a warning, but it sort of should. As usual, the signalling is wrong. The UK LED signals pack that I'm using doesn't correctly behave with distant signals in AWS. If the distant is green, it should not give a warning. However, the junction signal ahead should, as far as I understand it, be on release from red, where it stays red as we approach at a nice low speed and eventually clears to green, or whatever aspect it would show in respect of the next signal. So the repeater we passed would be yellow and the AWS would have given a warning, so we can brake ahead of time for the 15 mph junction. But that doesn't work like that, so yeah, we just have to make do with this yellow aspect on the junction signal. I would like to use Just Train's modern signals, which have correct approach control and other very nice features, but that would prevent putting the route on the workshop. At the moment I want to distribute it there, so I'm sticking to only Steam-based assets. It also means needing to own a Just Train's route as a prerequisite for this one, whereas just now all you need is Edinburgh to Glasgow and whatever trains you want to run. What stock runs? Well, 158s and 170s are the current stock on the borderline proper. The Suburban loop contains freight and ECS workings like 68s, 37s, 66s and more. The East Coast Main Line into Edinburgh features Voyagers, 91s, HSTs, 380s, 334s and a whole bunch of stuff. On the right is New Craig Hall Station, leading to Miller Hill Marshalling Yard, which has mostly been ripped up, where a new EMU depot will open either later this year or next. This will be included in the route. Now don't mind this bridge, it just hovers by magic. We're being held at this signal waiting on a service bound for the Borders, which is going to cross our path at Portobello Junction. Oddly enough, the signalling documents I have show these as being 4 aspect, but cab rides show them as being 3 aspect. Now, it's nice when things match up like that. Now the run between Portobello and Waverley is coming along nicely. Although there are still some empty patches, it does have several areas I'm quite happy with. So naturally we're going to accelerate towards 90 mph and blast right past them. The repair shed at Craig and Tinney was a good bodge, although the doors don't open. And the rest of Craig and Tinney is so far missing. It is unfortunate that just as we reach 85 miles an hour, we need to brake. The line climbs at 1 in 78 towards Waverley, which will help slow us down nicely for the 20 mile an hour restriction at the end of the tunnels. I prefer something to look at instead of pitch black tunnels, although this is still a bit bright. Now in the near future, Waverley will have some changes to the approaches at this end, and the former taxi rank will become a pair of platforms, 5 and 6. Due to the Waverley station model being baked together, I can't add these in any easy way. Other than that, Waverley and the surroundings are similar to the Thomson Edinburgh to Glasgow route, so there's nothing more to say. It'll be done when it's done, and thanks for watching.